Hey you guys, thanks for joining me on my latest video. I've got a series of a few videos to talk about the new car that we got. We found a used 2019 Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and this first video is going to be the day that we got it last week. Show you some video around that and some first impressions and things, and then we have some subsequent videos because we had some surprises once we really got to experience the car the remainder of that day and over the weekend and stuff. But this first one want to go through with you, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for joining me today. Before we get into the actual delivery day, let's talk a little bit more about the car that we selected. We picked the 2019 Stelvio. We were looking for 2020 or newer. There was a slight remodel in 2020, but 2019 was acceptable as well. We didn't want to go 2018 because that was the first year and there were some problems with those cars. We ended up finding one in Nebraska, and instead of me flying out and driving it home like I did with the Porsche, we decided just to pay the shipping, which was $875 to have it shipped to Akron. Let's take a quick look at the sticker for our Alfa Romeo, and I'll tell you about some of the options that we were looking for while we were searching for ours. It's an Alfa Romeo Stelvio TI Lusso all-wheel drive, and the Lusso package gives you leather seats, and we wanted the crema or cream leather seats, which have the stripes on them. They look very Italian, and that comes in that Lusso package, along with some other nice things like aluminum pedals, 8-way powered driver's seat and front passenger seat. And so that was a definite thing that we wanted. We weren't too concerned about the exterior color. We did end up getting one that was Stromboli gray, and it's a nice gray color that looks brown in bright sunlight and looks kind of gray and moody when it's overcast. All of the Alfa Romeo Stelvios from 2019, or at least the ones we were looking at, were all-wheel drive, so we needed all-wheel drive. They come with the 2-liter inline-4 engine, turbocharged. I think it goes 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds, so a pretty quick vehicle. Some other things that are on ours is the driver assistance static pack and the driver assist dynamic pack. This was on many of the ones we were looking at, so that was a nice to have. It includes things like adaptive cruise control and lane departure warning. A dual pane sunroof was something we definitely wanted, and that was on this car. The Bluetooth radio, 8.8-inch AM/FM Bluetooth radio with 3D nav was nice to have, as well as the Harman Kardon premium audio. And then the 20-inch wheels, we wanted the circle wheels, but we couldn't really find those on any of the ones we were looking at with these other options. And so we settled with these 20-inch wheels on these sport aluminum wheels, and they actually are very nice wheels. And when we saw them in person, I actually do like them quite a bit. And then we got the painted calipers, preferred red or yellow, and this one happened to come with black. But once again, it gives a nice subtle detail to the car. And then something that was requisite for us was the light walnut wood interior trim for $350. And so this car stickered at $55,000 just about 5 or 6 years ago, and we got it for $18,995, plus tax and fees and things like that. So we were pretty happy with what we were spending. That's about what Kelley Blue Book was showing it was worth. Okay, I'm out front waiting for the new car to arrive, and I'm pretty excited. Should be here in about 10 minutes, and it's a beautiful morning for it. All right, here it comes. There it is. I had never had a car delivered before. Like I said, actually the Porsche last year is the first car I bought that wasn't really at a dealership or anything like that, and I drove that one home. So this was pretty exciting to wake up on Thursday morning and look for the truck and see our car on it. So this is a pretty neat experience. There was 2 other cars on there, a BMW X1 and a Mini Cooper, and ours was sandwiched in right in the middle. So I got to watch this guy, get the BMW off, and then he backed ours off of the trailer next. And she looked really good, right? She looked okay and really good in the pictures from the dealer. She looked so beautiful in person. The gray color, wasn't necessarily our first choice, but absolutely love it. And those wheels, gosh, they're not the 5 circle wheels like you traditionally see on an Alfa Romeo, but these were phenomenal. exciting. Comes the Alfa off the truck. Looking good. Okay, so it's here. I'm just waiting for this guy to reload up the other cars and waiting for my partner to get here so she can take a look at it. And so far it looks really good. We did take the car for a quick test drive to go get coffee. And funny enough, within a block or two of the house, the car threw up a check engine light and a fault code, or at least a fault that said the auto stop start feature was no longer working. And so the check engine light was on most of that first day. So that was a little alarming, but it did not affect the performance of the car. And it was a pretty nice just to go around the block a few times and try out the new car. The only other funny thing on the test drive was the glove box fell out. Like, it was completely shattered after I examined it the next day. So this is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I took the car apart, and I'll shoot another video with the problems I've encountered with the Stelvio so far, and the stuff that wasn't necessarily disclosed to me from the dealership I bought it from, but we'll save that for another video. Okay, so we got the car on Thursday, and I didn't take video of the rest of my adventures that day, but I took the car out and was hoping to get it registered. We were supposed to have temp tags from the dealership in Nebraska. I didn't think we had those because they had refunded me my $17. And so I'm gonna go get it registered, right? So I remembered what the process was here in Ohio. And the first thing you have to do is go get the odometer checked out for $5. They check the odometer, fill out a form. And then from there you go to the title agency and get the Nebraska title switched over to Ohio, and then they send the title off to the bank because the bank's gonna have it while we're making payments on it. And then from there, they'll give you a little certificate that you could go get registration, right? License plates for the car and so forth. But in Ohio, you still have to get an e-check. And that's like an environmental check to make sure your car is not emitting too much smog or whatever. And they're in the process of getting rid of that in Ohio, but they haven't done that yet. And so I'm spending my Thursday afternoon going through this process again that I had done with the Porsche last year, and it's all coming back to me. But I'm driving around all day with that check engine light on. So I called Alfa Romeo dealer near me and talked to them, and they had recommended, hey, with these Stelvios, you want to start them up and let them run for about 30 seconds or more so that the computer can catch up. And that sometimes will cause these codes or the check engine light to come on. And so I'm like, cool. And they're like, give it 24 hours and it actually should reset itself. And so I was driving around and went to go get it e-checked on the off chance that it would allow me to pass e-check, and sure enough, it did not. So here it is, 4:30 in the afternoon, first day we've got the car, and I can't drive it around because I don't have a license plate for it or anything, and I can't pass e-check. So I'm kind of like really upset. As I'm leaving the e-check place, I'm like, okay, well, I can go get a temporary tag. That's a good idea. So I get an Ohio temporary tag. By now they're getting ready to close, and I spend an extra $20 to get a temp tag. As I'm leaving the temp tag place, the title bureau, the BMV, that light goes out. The e-check, or not the engine light goes out, and I'm like, that's interesting. So then I drive over to the e-check station because you can self-check. You don't need a person there to do that. So I go to the self-check for the e-check, and wouldn't you know it passes. But then it was too late to register at that point, but I did have the temporary tag. And so one of these days I will get it registered within the next 30 days. But I thought that was kind of interesting. So the takeaway there was, let the Stelvio run a little bit and get warmed up, and then put it in drive, and it shouldn't launch any codes or anything. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me. Excuse me. Thank you for watching the channel. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. so I can make more of these videos. We got a couple more on the Stelvio. We've got some videos on the Jeep and even the 4Runner coming up, maybe even some DIY stuff. So thank you again. Thank you so much for joining me.